Good morning. How are we doing? So, yesterday got in for the gym. I mentioned at the end of that video that I had stuff to do, and I did absolutely nothing. I got in for the gym, got some food, and then I was like, you know what, Shane? You haven't shut off the entire week, and you have another manic week ahead of you. Allow yourself to chill out. So that's what I did. I just watched a few episodes of the series, not much at the moment. Watching Line of Duty. It's very good. And yeah, other than that, I just relaxed. Feeling quite tired now today, I'm not gonna lie, which is typical after a Sunday squad session. But I think I'm definitely feeling the after effects of that botched single yesterday, which is yeah, obviously not ideal, but we have the entire day today to rest. Today's a check-in day. Now, I am definitely the type of person who is quite sensitive to changes in my routine. This glass is cracked. Oh my god, one of our coffee mugs is broke. Fuck's sake. Okay. Chill out. Alright, so yeah, I'm definitely the type of person who's like very sensitive to changes in routine. I don't like working in new environments. I don't like sleeping in new environments. I've slept very bad the last 2 nights. And then today we don't. There's 3 bedrooms in this apartment, or in this house. You can't place this apartment, but three bedrooms. Only one has a desk, so I'm going to be working at the island, which working on a bar stool is not the most comfortable of things, especially you don't really have a back support like the gaming chair. The gaming chairs are elite. I'm gonna have to order one for when we get to Spain. Anyway, look, enough of my complaining. It's only temporary. I'm only going to be here the next 3 days, and then we are flying to Spain. So, yeah, I'm going to get my coffee ready. I'm going to do some reading. I'm going to chill out, do a little bit of mindfulness. Oh, it's been a day so far. It's 10 to 6. I'm having meal number 3. So, usually when I have this big meal at this time, it means that my dinner tonight is going to be tough to get down. Just not as well planned today as usual. Just being disordered, being out of my usual environment. As I mentioned at the very start, it does kind of throw me. But also had to go to our apartment, just let some cleaners in to kind of get the place ready so we can hand the keys back over to our landlord. And that did kind of set me in the back foot a little bit for the day, because I was out of the house for longer than I planned. So I'm going to get this food in, and then I have some more work to get done. Consequences of taking a little bit more of a chill day yesterday was today is a little bit more work, especially with flying later on in the week. So I have 2 programs to do. I have a returning client to set up. So I'm going to go through his questionnaire. I'm going to read through everything that he provided me with. So he's very, very prepared. And I love it when a client, or a new client, or a returning client, or whatever, is prepared, and they send me over like loads of information. So he sent me a whole like kind of spreadsheet with like time constraints, preferences, like obviously his current goals, his goals across all fronts, strength training, cardio, all this kind of stuff, as well as just like even something like an equipment list. An equipment list is so handy to have as a coach, because otherwise you're kind of looking at like a gym tour, for example, which not all gyms have like a gym tour on their website, and then after that it's like asking people to send you over a list. Whereas when somebody's like nice and prepared with everything that the gym has, it makes my life much easier. And as well, because he's a return client, I've all other kind of past training program history there too, which we can kind of look to see like, okay, what was working last time, and what direction do we want to go with the next few weeks. Then also have another client to program for. He's just after finishing up a training block. He is a very, very strong lifter, and we're looking to prepare for meet in June. So the process for setting up his next training block, essentially, we're just going to be reviewing his last training block, of course, see what was working, see what wasn't working, and make some slight adjustments from there. All right. Now, I'll bring you through the process of actually doing that as I'm doing it. But when it does come to kind of making these changes to training blocks, the main thing I'm looking at, especially for somebody like him who's a powerlifting focused client, is are our competition lifts moving? Okay, they are the primary things. Okay, I don't give a fuck if your secondary bench or your third squat day, if they're like not moving, they're not the days that we're really focused on. Okay, because you're not going to be doing a double pause bench in competition, right? So want to see if your competition movement's moving up, and then off the back of that, we just see, okay, is this protocol working? And then we see, okay, do we need to make adjustments elsewhere based off what the goal is going to be? Okay, so going into every training block, you're going to have like specific kind of goals as to what you want that block to accomplish. And for a powerlifting client, for example, you can have blocks that are tailored towards, developing work capacity, where you're kind of building volumes up, maybe using like high repetition ranges. You have ones where you are trying to, again, kind of build muscle through the kind of more moderate intensities, or not moderate intensities, but at the general kind of continuum of strength ranges. So like, the kind of 4 reps to 6 reps, for example. Or you could be looking at more kind of skill rated blocks that are going to be targeting rep ranges of like 1 to 3, for example. Okay, now based off how you were kind of approaching either of those, you can also then adjust the later days in the week. So your secondary days, for example. So in a skill block, for example, where you are pushing the higher intensities in your primary day, you might not necessarily have the secondary days to be as difficult, to allow for extra recovery on those days. So similar to how I'm peaking right now, I'm not pushing my secondary days that much on my squat or my deadlift or my bench, because I'm trying to prioritize the main day. However, I like to work capacity block, or the likes of another volume block where you're kind of working in general kind of strength range, and you don't mind kind of pushing the fatigue that little bit higher on the likes of those type of movements, that's probably okay. So you can get away with that. But anyway, I'll bring you through the kind of decision making that I'm making for John's program, because I wanted this video to have at least some information in it, because I know it's been fairly fucking boring today. But yeah, such is the nature of a Monday, of a rest day Monday.
You really fucked up.
Is that correct?
Times, haven't you? It's
I know, I mentioned that in the video.
It smells like risotto.
No, it's not risotto.
What did you put on it?
It's everything bagels eating.
It smells like risotto.
That's nice.
It smells like risotto.
Anyway, could you press the record off button there?
Your fucking videographer, like.
Well, should we?
Alright, we are going to be signing off today. Haven't spoke huge amount today, but I'm just wrapping up today now at 9 o'clock. And this essentially is one of the programs I just made up there for one of my clients, so you can see. Now, with this client in particular, I'm going to go through some of the decision making process. I'm not going to go through the second client because it's late and I want to get to bed. So this client, he is a returning client, and he is just after coming off the back of the program which he has sent me over here, right? So you can see this is all the kind of information that he actually came with me. He came to me with outside of the questionnaire. So outside of what I actually asked him to give me, he gave me extra. So this is actually really helpful. You can see all the kind of different goals he has here, which is phenomenal. So if you're a future client, this is the standard that you have to live up to. So big up, Martin. Okay, so he sent me over this program that he's following. We'll go on to it here. Hopefully my laptop doesn't die. So I believe he was on one of these weeks. It's like a base phase. So you can see here, relatively high volume. 15 sets of press in there, then 15 sets of back. But it is pretty much like a 1 time a week frequency. Okay. Now, this client in particular, he does want to do powerlifting. He wants to compete again. He wants to get his numbers up. Okay. So, just based off his progress pictures at the moment, he's gained a decent amount of size by utilizing this method. However, to further build on his current capacity or his current capabilities, we'll probably need to increase the frequency. Okay, and now based off his particular sticking points in the squats, I have and squat, bench, and deadlift, I have modified the program to suit. Okay, so he was doing fives there, so we're gonna build on that and like periodize these kind of repetition schemes downwards. So he's gonna be utilizing some higher intensities here, right? So he's gonna be utilizing triples here. So I want him to just use the regular competition squat just to build, to have some specific skill practice in there with a higher intensity, and then he's gonna do his back offs with a tempo just to improve his bracing. And then we're going to have long pause bench. Just from looking at his videos, identified that he has a little bit of a weakness off the chest. So we're going to add in some long pause bench press there to target it, but as well, building on the triples that he's doing in the previous block. So using triples here as well. And then we're also getting in specific practice with the bench press, right? So having this and then onto this, he's going to feel mega strong on the competition bench press after he does the long pause. Then we just have some lower body work there. He doesn't have any machines in his gym, so we do have to be quite mindful of that. Now after that, on to day 2, you can see we have a pause deadlift for a triple, okay, as opposed to the regular deadlift, like similar to, which is quite different to we're having the specific squat here. But I want him to actually challenge this position off the floor, right? It's because he tends to lose tightness as he's moving the bar away from the floor and pushing it to the ground. It seems like he is not getting his lats quite tight enough. So his pause deadlift is a really good position, a really good variation to help improve that start position. And then after that, we're going to get into some, again, more specific skill with the deadlift, and we're going to do ramping sets. Then after that, I want him to do a little bit more bench volume. So we're increasing bench volume to 2 times a week frequency already, and then we're also doing some more upper body volume. Okay, again, kind of pay attention to building up the triceps, the delts, getting in some lat volume, as well as getting in some arms, because he just wants to grow his arms, but also overhead tricep extensions, because that is probably going to be the head of the tricep, the long head, which is going to be most active when we are pressing the barbell for the bench press. Apologies, you can probably tell I'm quite tired. Alright, day 3. So you can see we have him doing a 6x2 at 70%. Okay, so while he needs to improve his bracing a little bit on squats, he probably could also do with a little bit of like quote unquote speed work and really focus on moving the bar as fast as possible. Because with the higher intensity that he's been using so far, his brake force development looks to be pretty slow. He looks like he's moving the bar quite slow. So just adding in some speed work, I suppose you could call it, to get him to learn how to move the bar snappier. Right, it is definitely a skill that you can build on. Then after that, we're going to have some more quad specific hypertrophy. Obviously, he doesn't have any leg press or leg extension, so we're just going to go with front squat there. It's going to take off a little bit loading off his back, which he has noted is a little bit kind of tender at the moment, and so is his groin, which is why we're programming in some Copenhagen adductions. Then we're also bringing in some step ups here, so to again build on some of the adductor there. But as well, it's a great exercise if you don't have any machines, because it is really got to bring the quads, the glutes and the adductors through a really long range of motion, and they're pretty fucking challenging. Alright, then we have a hip thrust to just further build up the hip extension a little bit. I would have put in a hinge, but he is doing hinges on the next day. So now we have 12 singles. Okay, so 12 singles as an EMOM. So you can see here, I have 6 doubles, 12 reps. 12 reps here. Any reason for 12? No, just kind of a nice number. So we're going to do 12 singles, right? And why not do 6 doubles? Well, the first rep of the deadlift is the one that really matters, and we are really looking to refine that actual first rep. So I want him to get as much practice in it as possible. Doing an EMOM in that as well will literally take 12 minutes. So it'll be completely fine for him to be able to do. And it'll keep him locked in, keep him really focused, and each rep should build on the next. So he'll almost feel as if each rep is getting better, like the skill is getting more refined as he goes through the process. And then we're bringing in some type of kind of glute, hamstring, hypertrophy work, similar to how we did it there with the quads. We're doing it now on the glutes and hamstrings. And then we're gonna do some more bench work. So this be his main bench day, you could say, because we're doing a kind of single here. So again, get some specific skill practice in the singles, and then after that we're onto a 4x4. And there you can see here we have some pretty high intensity quadruples here, so 7, 8, and 9. And then after that we have lots of accessories, but we are keeping the time considerations in mind because it's already going to be quite a long session, so we're utilizing supersets. So we're targeting the chest here in more lengthened position, potentially get a little bit of teres here in the lengthened position as well when the arms are overhead, but also we're going to get a really nice contraction on the chest as the arms go across the body. So you're almost getting like a lengthened challenge chest position, a little bit of contraction in the short with the pullover, and then we're into some arms with face away cable curl, and then some dual rope tricep extensions to again just continue building on his other aesthetic goals of just improving his arms. So yeah, that's essentially his program. So that's how I kind of laid it out. If people find this useful, I might do more of these, but a little bit more in depth, because as you can tell, I'm pretty damn tired. Anyway, I did want to at least finish up some video for today. But yeah, today's been manic. I've pretty much been on my laptop since I woke up, apart from the 2-hour break that I got when I let in the cleaners. So yeah, I want to keep up consistency. Tomorrow's main deadlift day. I'm wrecked. I've got to go to sleep. So thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow.